These are the companies that are always battling each other to make sure we buy their products. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 business rivalries. For this list, we're focusing on two companies that make similar products that are constantly compared to one another.
iSheet, copy bots.
Autocorrect this.
Number 10. Energizer versus Duracell. These two companies power your TV remote, Xbox controller, and so much more. While Energizer has been around since the late 1800s, Duracell only burst onto the scene in the mid-1960s. This makes it all the more surprising that Duracell has been able to become a serious competitor to the historic battery and personal care brand in such a short time. Even if you side with the Energizer Bunny, you can expect these two companies will remain in a power struggle for the foreseeable future. Number 9. Budweiser versus Miller. As far as beer companies go, it's hard to think of more fierce competitors than Miller and Budweiser.
When you start caring, put down your purse and I'll give you a Miller Lite.
Even though you can't ignore Coors in the battle of the brews, these are the two brands that are more likely to pop into your head when you think of a cold, refreshing beer. While it isn't surprising that the beer business is as competitive as it is, it's a steady stream of advertising keeping these two brewing legends held high as two of America's highest-selling beers.
Gentlemen, in closing, I'd like to think I speak for all of us when I say if it wasn't for life, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Number 8. Visa versus MasterCard. While these two companies don't actually issue credit cards, they are the reason we can use them. Considering both Visa and MasterCards are accepted nearly everywhere, and both American multinational financial services corporations are successful, it's safe to say these companies are what most people use to make the majority of their purchases. Really, the only loser here is old-fashioned cash and coin. Number 7. Hasbro versus Mattel. As these companies both make toys for kids, they've squared off for decades for the hearts of your little ones. They may not directly reference or acknowledge each other, but their products often share many uncanny similarities. Both Hasbro and Mattel have made some very iconic American toys, so it's hard to imagine that either will be giving up their stake and disappearing anytime soon.
Be the world's best driver at HotWheels.com.
Number 6. Ford versus GM. As two of the oldest companies that still make their cars in America, Ford and GM have been constant competitors since the early 20th century. Perhaps the most surprising thing about this American-founded rivalry is that GM was able to remain in the competition after they filed for bankruptcy in 2009.
Vespa?
But no matter which car company your allegiance lies with, it's evident this rivalry is behind some of the greatest American vehicles in history. If one looks east, you can see a similar struggle between automotive giants Toyota and Honda.
Introducing the all-new Corolla.
Number 5. DC versus Marvel. They're responsible for characters like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and so many more. But since these two companies have characters with many similarities, many fans tend to side with one or the other.
Something wrong with the elevator?
That makes this rivalry all the more intense, especially since Disney put its weight behind one, purchasing Marvel, while Time Warner owns DC. No matter where your loyalty lies, you can't deny these two have played a huge role in the film and comic book industries for decades.
My attorney will be in touch with you about the damage to the door. Otis, take the gentleman's cape.
Number 4. Adidas versus Puma. This rivalry is proof that sibling rivalries can result in much more than hurt feelings. These two world-renowned athletic footwear and sportswear corporations were originally one company owned by two brothers. Tensions eventually caused the company to split into Adidas and Puma, edging out the Nike versus Reebok rivalry, which is just as intense. Today, Adidas is Europe's largest sportswear manufacturer, while Puma holds its own by sponsoring high-profile athletes, especially several notable footballers. Number 3. Microsoft versus Apple. Microsoft has had plenty of competitors over the years, including Sony and Nintendo in gaming, and Google online. But none has been as large as their rivalry with Apple. This struggle saw the late Steve Jobs compete with Bill Gates for dominance in home computing, with the latter prevailing until Apple's eventual supremacy thanks to their efforts in mobile and tablets.
Every day, more photos are taken with the iPhone than any other camera.
It doesn't take much to see the differences between these companies. While Apple tends to focus on uniformity, quality, branding, and style, Microsoft is more focused on ubiquity. Whether you're a Mac or a PC fan, these tech giants have pushed innovation to new heights.
Is there an app for that?
Search karate.
Number 2. McDonald's versus Burger King. Fast food rivalries come and go, but none is more iconic than the Battle of the Burgers.
Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce, special orders don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
Over the years, Burger King and McDonald's have been in an all-out battle for control of the multi-billion-dollar-a-year fast food market, trying to outdo one another's offerings and mascots.
Now watch me, kids, when I twist my rings like magic.
We're at Burger King!
After decades of competition, McDonald's emerged on top, and this has introduced it to a whole new breed of competitors. Before we reveal the number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Coke versus Pepsi. Was there ever any doubt? Shockingly, the similarity between these two companies' products was no accident, as Pepsi was created to be a direct alternative to Coke. Despite all of Pepsi's marketing efforts over the years, Coke has managed to become the more successful company and to remain the top American soda icon. Regardless of which soft drink you prefer, it's hard to imagine not being able to get a chilled Coca-Cola or a Pepsi in a nearby vending machine.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good.
Do you agree with our list? What do you think is the biggest business rivalry? For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Have a Coke and thanks, Mean Joe. Smile.